I am here with Michel Franco, my dear friend and director of New Order, which will be out in the United States very soon, and happy to be here and ask you a couple questions.
My pleasure,
Okay, cool.
as always. I made an effort to keep the film, to keep the story and characters as universal as possible, and that's why I think people have embraced it in different countries, and I think it's everywhere people are dissatisfied and people know things need to change, and that's what New Order represents. I I think the only country that where there was that amount of controversy. Let's see how it goes in the States, but every film critic all over the world embraced it after Venice, and they understood the film for its value and for what it meant, for what it stands for. Only in Mexico, but it didn't surprise me there was such controversy. But I think it's also because politically the country is very split, and many people, as you just pointed, without even watching the movie, uh, wanted to believe that the movie stands for certain things that it doesn't. But that's interesting, and it's even flattering. I mean, my favorite filmmakers are, you just mentioned Come and See. I love that movie, of course, we discussed it in San Sebastian, but I love Pasolini, and it's a bad example because he got killed for doing Salon. So, but you know, my favorite filmmakers are often those that trigger conversations, like Haneke and Lars von Trier and Godard and Luis Buñuel, of course.
Mhm.
I think what happened in Mexico with Los Olvidados 80 years ago, I don't know how long ago, it's a good example and I'm not comparing my film to Los Olvidados or myself to Buñuel, but the rejection that film provoked in Mexico, even after it got an award in Cannes, and the place that I mean, history and time put it in its right place. So I'm flattered to be among the list of filmmakers that sometimes often people tell me I saw New Order with my family. We streamed it at home. We hated it. It's wrong in so many levels, and we all disliked it. And we had a long discussion about it for 5 hours. I'm like, I rather hear someone saying we had a 5 hour discussion about your movie than saying, oh, I loved your movie, and just pass to the next subject.
Yeah,
So,
that is easily digestible. I think also the thing about the film is, it makes the subject or the audience face something that maybe they don't want to admit, or maybe something they don't want to acknowledge, because it's a sad truth, it's a sad reality.
yeah.
But sometimes there needs to be somebody who brings it to light so that other people can follow and then continue kind of what you're doing. But being the first, or I'm not saying you're the first to bring to light these issues in Mexico, but to do it the way you did it in New Order, that's so confrontational and in your face, can definitely be cause.
And I'm definitely not the first, but it's the first, probably the first movie that deals with it on a, so to speak, commercial way. It's a movie for all audiences. It's a commercial movie, because I love Ellie from Amata Escalante, for example, but unfortunately not many people watch the movie. It's more like an art house movie, and I'm trying to, and I think we succeeded with New Order to reach broad audiences with a film that nevertheless is demanding and hopefully satisfying or confrontational or whatever. I'm very satisfied with the movie.
Yeah, I am too. I love it.
I remember it perfectly when I watched Los Olvidados. I was 15 probably, and it struck me on many levels. First, to see a movie that's so old, but not outdated. It could have been shot now. A movie by a Spaniard that shoots in Mexico and knows the country better than any Mexican. that's not shy about showing that reality, and mainly that's I I I have some friends that are fans of Die Hard, you know, and wanted to make movies when we were at that age because they wanted to work with film stars or because you know, the glamour of Hollywood or whatever, and without being an intellectual kid or anything, I was fascinated by the power of Buñuel and of A Clockwork Orange and Wings of Desire. But going back to Buñuel, the fact that he shot in my country and how the impact that those movies provoked, I said I want to do that too.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, you gotta find your own voice, and that I learned very quickly by failing at making short films that were a disaster. And then little by little you understand, okay, I gotta understand who I am and find out if I got anything to say, and that's the only way of succeeding. And also I have to make it with zero budget, with a you know, just with a few friends and a camera, and that was 20 years ago or 22 years ago, and I wouldn't say I fell in love with cinema because I hate it. You know, it's a love and hate relationship. It's so hard that I wouldn't say I love it. Yeah. And it's taken away everything. You know, my time, my love, my I I failed in many aspects of my life just to succeed in film. Yes, I mean, you got a sense. You need to have a sense of humor to go through life without losing your mind, and everybody will face tragedy eventually and dramatic events and the loss of people you love and so on. And only those with a sense of humor can go through those things. And I think film is the same thing. There's some people criticize noir and it really makes me laugh because they say it has involuntary sense of humor, and I laugh hard because no, it has sense of humor, a very dry, and I would never say where it is because then, you know, it loses its purpose. But yeah, that sense of humor, it's the way of keeping sanity, if I ever had sanity.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but and I did have a happy childhood. We won't get into details,
Well,
but
we were talking about that once, and it was funny how that came up because it was the first thing you said, and I'm sure you did. That's maybe the.
yeah, because people watch my movies and imagine you know, the worst kind of luck in life. Otherwise, why would I be dealing with this dark? But I had a happy childhood up until my teenage years, which is when I discovered death, the death of a close relative, and the way that affected, which is pretty much what Después de Lucia is about. That changed the whole family dynamics and myself, and again, that's if you're a writer, a filmmaker, a painter, a musician, that's your material, right? That's you shouldn't want to be a filmmaker for the sake of it. It should be a way to express all that otherwise would again drive you crazy. I I only produce movies from close friends. Not only. There's a couple of exceptions.
Like
But
Lorenzo,
Lorenzo, Gabriel Ripstein, my sister, if she,
David Sonana.
David Sonana. If you make a movie, I'd love to produce it. But only people I know well because, first of all, you gotta understand. We gotta like the same things, or you know, we gotta be able to speak the same language. Then there's even a better reason. Something will go wrong while shooting. Many things will go wrong. We're gonna face trouble. It's gonna be hell to make a movie. That's always the case. And when that happens, you want the director to be a friend who won't go crazy. I mean, not only a friend, but you wanna make sure who that person is, because when everything it's like going on a long journey. You wouldn't go with a
Stranger, no.
maybe I wouldn't produce movies by all my friends because some of my friends are crazy. So why would I do that?
Yeah.
So I want to make sure that it's not gonna be super chaotic. I did shoot a movie. We wrapped on March 2020, around March the 4th. We were extremely lucky to fully finish the shooting, and I shot it in Acapulco, and we shot it with pretty much the same crew in New Order. I'm still working on the post production and finding I haven't logged the edit, so I don't know where it's gonna premiere, but pretty soon. And yeah, I'm already writing a couple of things. Before 4 movies ago, I didn't enjoy writing a movie because it seemed like an impossible task. Now I enjoy it. It doesn't mean I write better scripts, but at least it's not so overwhelming. It's the opposite. Now I feel the need to sit and write. I had the need before, but at the same time, it seemed like like an impossible task. And now, that's the only good thing about having made a few movies is that I know I can make a movie. I'm being honest I'm not trying to be humble, but the first few movies are like small miracles. Like, how the hell am I gonna pull this off, And especially with no money, because at the beginning nobody would really. I mean, and why would they trust a new director with weird scripts like Después de Lucia that turned out to be not so weird, but it made sense. But when they read it, nobody thought it could be a good movie. Yes, indeed. I mean, the joke's on me because every time I try to write a comedy, I enjoy it much more than writing any of my films that I actually shot, because only through writing a comedy I found out how that you have fun writing instead of going through these dark subjects and but I got myself used to the dark subjects. So then when I switched to comedy, I not only enjoy the writing more, but I enjoy I have I'm going through a better period. I'm on a better mood with friends and with family, but then I read the script and it's total shit, and it's not worth shooting that comedy, and it's not funny. So it's hard to make comedy. I don't think I might try it someday, but I think I'm gonna make an ass of myself because it's very hard to make a comedy. The two short films that I agreed to show now that can still be watched are the ones I'm proud of, and especially Entre Dos. That's where I remember when I was 23 and I shot it and I watched it and I screened it for audiences, and it was the first short film that I dared send into an international film festival, which was in Spain, in Huesca, and it won the prize, and I couldn't believe it because I thought, just the fact that they accepted and sent me a plane ticket, and I couldn't believe that on top of that I won the festival, and they, the award came like with 6,000 euros, and I was a kid, I couldn't believe it. But more than that, I felt confident for the first time, and I thought I might be able to make a movie. I should try, and a movie that should be similar to that short film. So that's when it kind of made sense, and I had more faith into the whole thing.
Yeah. And I wanted to talk about your sister Victoria Franco, who directed one of the shorts in the selection. I was blown away by that film, and what can we expect from her? I mean, it'd be very exciting to, have whether if she's is she planning to make a feature soon? It'd be great to see something from her, because that was that really, similarly to when I saw New Order, where the movie ends, but it didn't end because it causes this revolution inside of you. You're sitting there and you're kind of having this internal battle with yourself. I think it was, she really made me, when I saw that, I was really, chapeau, like they say. I really, really dug it, and it was great to see something, because you had spoken so much to me about her.
She's very talented, and she's writing her first feature. We co-directed a movie, but it was a movie called A Los Ojos, and it was around the time she made Borde, this short film.
Anyways, I think that that was kind of it, and I'm happy that we could talk. I mean, I wrote all these questions down, but it kind of seemed like we just could kind of free flow with it,
It's easy talking with you. We do it all the time without a camera. So.
Yeah. Now we have the camera here. Anyways, that's it. No.